Alrighty. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Lesson Non-Classic. This episode number 2500. Yes. Oh yeah, and also Doubleshot 2394. Yes, 2500 episodes for this series. Wow. Who would have thunk it? And it's a month after, basically. Actually, I think it was this very month, like 10 years ago, I did the very first episode. Yeah. Of course, in the last year, I've been basically doing like digital stuff, a lot more digital than physical. Mainly because basically, Money Saver, because I can't buy every single trade. Number two, the library can't get their hands on these things, and Happola can't get their hands on it, so go to this website and do it. Yep. Now we're here talking about a run of Ghost Rider that happened back in 2011. Yes, 2011. This is basically Ghost Rider by Rob Williams. Excuse me, the complete collection, which only collects just this very short Ghost Rider run. Yes. Now, the opening issue of the thing is basically it's a 0.1 issue. Yeah, as far as I can tell, now, if you're curious about the 0.1s, that was a marketing ploy Marvel had back in 2011. Like, every single series at Marvel Comics had to have these. Amazing Spider-Man had 3. Yes, 3. 2 of whom basically were backdoor pilots. As a matter of fact, get this. Did you know that the second last issue ever released Amazing Spider-Man before it got relaunched second time actually, F700 was actually a 0.1 issue, which was a backdoor pilot to a Morbius title. Yep. And of course, the first person who got this was Iron Man. Every single series of Marvel Comics had to have these. And I guess we're all like, okay, get one of the Ghost Rider. Okay. Mostly proof of this one is basically Johnny Blaze, as no one thinks he's in LA. And he meets a guy named Adam. Now, here's the thing about Adam. This guy is from a story that was published back in the 1950s. He's occasionally appeared over the years prior to this, but this is the first time he did anything really big. And after this series wrapped up, he popped up in Man-Thing in a one-shot, and that's pretty much it for the character. So basically, Johnny Blaze, at the end of this 0.1, he stops being Ghost Rider. Oh, here's also a fun fact about this book. Did you know this is the first Ghost Rider book at the time it was released? First time in 2 years it was a Ghost Rider book. Yeah, what did Ghost Rider do before this? He appeared in open 2 issues of Heroes for Hire Volume 3, and he also had a guest star appearance in X-Men Serve and Protect, which is a short story in that one. He appeared in that book. After they give up Zorthos in this 0.1, where does it go to? A brand new Ghost Rider. A Ghost Rider who Marvel doesn't care about. And I think that Marvel never cared about this character at all. They never cared to market this book much at all. Not really. It's like some people at Marvel tried, but I guess some people at Marvel just did not care. Because this book managed to last for whopping, along with this 0.1, 9 issues. Yes, 9. So the opening issue, we got brand new Ghost Rider, a woman named Alondra Jones. And she means the Ghost Rider this entire book. And for her first 4 issues, it's a tie-in to Fear itself. We have our take on members of, like, the God of Fear's, his, like, hammer wielders. Yep, that's what she does for the opening issues. And Johnny Blaze occasionally pops in here and there. Doesn't do a lot for these opening issues. And right after this particular thing came out, by the way, here's something you might find interesting. Did you know while this book is coming out, she appeared in like 2 comics outside this book? Yeah, her first appearance outside this book was actually during a 4-part story arc. Actually, more like a 6-part story arc known as The Circle of 4, which included issue 13, 13.1, 13.2, 13.3, 13.4, and concluded in issue number 14. I had this theory when I was reviewing Venom by Rick Remender that the reason why that it was like this, because my guess is somebody at Marvel really wanted to have this be a cross between Venom, the Red Hulk, this book, and X-23. My guess is that was planned, But my guess is the editors of those books, despite like Rob Williams basically wrote almost the entire story himself. My guess is the editors at the time probably all said no. So I guess that I guess they figured, okay, we got published issues. I know. How about basically 13.1 to 13.4, and then basically have the issue 13.4 be a bookend of the story. Yep, and she also made guest appearance in another .1 issue for X-Men Volume 3. And that was the only appearance she made outside this comic while the book was being published. Oh, and here's something interesting. This book was publishing from June 2011. That's when the opening issue came out. And it concluded in March of 2012. Yeah, for some reason this book did something really weird. Like, after the opening 4 issues, 5 and 6 were released the same month. 7 was released in December, and then 8 was released in January, and then the final issue of this book was never released until 2 months later. Yeah, and also in these last few issues, oh, here's something interesting though. Did you know that the Only Ever Trade collected this run only collected the opening 5 issues plus this .1? The last 4 issues, prior to this split collection came out, or did not get their own trade. Nope. Marvel just did not care. It is one of 2 times I've seen this for a short-lived title published this very year, and they collect the Fairy Tale issues all in one trade, but they don't collect the remainder of the series. The only other series I've seen like this was Herc by Greg Pak. Yep, where they collected just the opening 6 issues and not the last 4 issues. For reasons, the only way those other issues were collected was a complete collection. Yes. So you have her basically going on like a vengeance spree, and then of course Hawkeye himself gets involved. Yes, Hawkeye, who ends up shooting her in the chest. Yes. And she wears an outfit where it's like all black, but it's like show off her cleavage, because of course basically they would do this. And we also have Spider-Woman, Carol Danvers, Ms. Marvel appear in these issues, basically some of the Avengers, which was fine. I had no issue with this at all. And then like, okay, so my guess is Robert Williams was told, hey, we're going to axe this book and we're not going to use your character anymore. We really want Johnny Blaze back as the Ghost Rider. So they have it where, in a way, in the final issue, she loses the Zorthos back to Johnny Blaze and she gets burned. And then she goes off on her own motorcycle, which is a really cool looking motorcycle that she has. Let's see if I can find it here. Let's see. Is it on the one that covers? Let's see. 5. Here we go. Yeah, 5 had the really cool cover. Come on. Come on. Thank you. Yeah, and this is her. Here we go. That's her motorcycle, which is a really cool looking thing here. And this run overall was really good. Kind of surprised book got canceled. I'm presuming low sales, but Marvel never say anything about it. Just stopped publishing after only 9 issues. And then here's the strange thing, though. After the last issue came out for this book, Alondra herself was never seen again until 6 years later in the final issue of Doctor Strange's Damnation. And the following year, she dies in an absolute carnage one-shot tie-in, Spirits of Vengeance. And that was it for her. Like, really? Robert Williams did an excellent job with this character. It's like some people at Marvel just didn't care. They just really want Johnny Blaze back. Or, because people basically criticize Marvel for creating the all-new Ghost Rider with Robert Reyes. Like, people know Robert Reyes because basically his Ghost Rider, his appearance on S.H.I.E.L.D. and, of course, the comic book. He had 2 runs of Ghost Rider. She had 1. And Marvel just didn't care to finish collecting her run. It's like this is one character Marvel just did not care about. It also kind of started an unofficial trend for this book where the books didn't last very long. Yes, because the very next book, published the following year, which that's probably the reason book got canceled, because we're going to have this all-new Ghost Rider series, which I heard when this book was coming out. I'll talk more about that later. But this book was just awesome. Yeah. I'm going to get this trade here at 10 out of 10, because I thought that was really good here. Next up we have basically is a complete collection that's not been released yet, but now it collected Nightstalkers 1 through 4, Midnight Suns, a short story from that book, the first issue of that book, Tomb of Dracula Volume 3, the entire 4-issue miniseries, and Ghost Rider Volume 3, Issue 31. Gonna start first with Marvel Comics Presents, which, by the way, this issue came out just prior to the Tomb of Dracula miniseries. Excuse me, yes, it's just a story called Vampires. Yep. It's a really cool Blade story that chronologically took place between issues 1 and 2 of Tomb of Dracula, Volume 3, and that was it. Yeah, you have, it's kind of, in a way, a return for Blade after several years of being gone, so that was really the whole point of this issue, just bring the character back, and then right afterwards we had Tomb of Dracula Volume 4, which is an excellent miniseries done by the guys who created Blade, Marv Wolfman and Gene Colan. Gene Colan being the original artist of the original volume, him coming back for this book was a great idea. Most of the point, it's like a reviving Dracula for the 90s. That was really the whole point of it, and they also reference the back about what I also mentioned. Oh look, we have Rachel Van Helsing back, except it's not her, it's a fake. Because Rachel Van Helsing was killed in the 6th annual for Uncanny X-Men. Yes, she couldn't get killed off in Tomb of Dracula. She got killed off in an X-Men book. Yep. But it was basically a way to more re-establish basically Blade for the 1990s. Yep. Great miniseries. Miniseries itself, I'll give a 10 out of 10 because that was really good. This short story from Marvel Comics Presents, issue 64, I'm going to give it a 9. Just a good reintroduction to the character. But then, of course, we have, you think, okay, what came next? Well, as far as I can tell, this is what came next. Nightstalkers. Well, this actually is part 5 of 6. I will eventually talk about the rest of the story later. Here's the opening issue of this book. Now, pretty much the first issue is simply put, the gathering of the Nightstalkers. Blade, Hannibal King, and Frank Drake coming together, brought together by Doctor Strange himself. And that's really the whole point of this issue. And then it leads into the climax, which was an issue of Ghost Rider, Volume 3, issue 31, which had the gathering of all these people part of this big group known as Midnight Suns. They take on Lilith, and of course they have a follow-up crossover a year later. Rise of Midnight Suns is an excellent story. We'll talk about the rest of the story at a later point, but this is just really good. And then, like, right afterwards, then we had 3 more issues of Nightstalkers. Anybody thinking, what did Nightstalkers do for 3 issues? Well, they took on something associated with Hydra. Yes, seriously. They took on a threat from Hydra. Are you thinking, a Supernatural book and they take on a threat from Hydra? Yes, seriously, that's what they did. Yeah, so they take on DOA in Nightstalkers number 2. Now, Howard Mankey wrote he wrote the Ghost Rider issue, obviously. Now, who wrote Nightstalkers? This is done by Dan G. Sester, who was most famous known for his run for Daredevil. Yep. And how long did he stay writing Midnight Suns for? Did he write the whole series? Nightstalkers? Not really. He left with issue number 11. Yep, issue 11. Yep. And he got replaced by Stephen Grant. But it seems weird though, like, okay, so we bring in this group, and right after... Oh, by the way, in the 90s, Johnny Blaze was not Ghost Rider. This actually was the first of 2 times he basically ever was Orthos. Yeah, he eventually got his own 2 spin-off books, which were not very good sellers for Marvel at the time. So yeah, we take on the DOA, the Department of Occult Armaments, who actually is still around to this very day. Yeah, like after appearing in these opening issues, appeared for 2 more issues of this book, issues 9 11, which I'll talk about later. And then next time they appear won't be until Fear Itself number 7. No, seriously. By the way, the last appearance? 1993. The next appearance will be until 18 years later that they appear in the Fearless miniseries. Limited series appeared in Venom, and that was it for them. Yeah, and they're only here for the opening few issues of this book. Now, as for the... Oh, by the way, we even have issue 3 of guest appearance by the Punisher. Yeah, he appears in this book too. I think it was issue 4. Actually, I thought it wasn't. Oh, that was my mistake. We did guest appearance by Baron Wolfgang von Strucker, but there is an issue where Punisher does appear in the book. Oh, yeah. And I will be talking about that. That'll be interesting to talk about for that one. Oh, yes, indeed. But this book is just really, really good. I love Nightstalkers. I kind of wish it got an actual trade. Yeah. But the only trade it's collecting is basically Epic Collection Blade, which not come out yet. And that's for the Midnight Suns Unlimited issue. Yeah, basically this is one of 3 times Blade himself appeared in this book. Now, of course, they have the story All Wings of Angels. It's mostly about basically Night Stalker saving a girl named Maria from gargoyles. Interesting story, and you might be thinking, did G.G. Sells to write this? Yes, he did. Yep. That's pretty much it for this one. Yeah, these issues that are going to be collecting this Blade Up collection are really, really good. I highly recommend checking these issues out because they're just that damn good. And you know, for a 2500 episode, you're thinking, wait, why the heck is basically not going to be longer? Because usually these things are slightly longer. Well, I didn't have a lot to say, but I damn enjoyed these books. I just thought they were really good. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm going to give basically this Epic Collection. Well, what do we give Nightstalkers? I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a pretty good book. Minutes Unlimited, same rating, 10. The Ghost Rider issue, for a good finale, I give that a 10. Yeah, so that's pretty much a particular view. Next up is going to be Spy X Family. Okay, next video. Bye.